Hello, I'm Deena Blumenfeld of Shining Light Prenatal Education in Pittsburgh. I'm a Lamaze certified childbirth educator and a prenatal yoga instructor. And today's video is directed towards both pregnant moms and childbirth educators and doulas so that you can share this with your clients as well. And I think this pelvic floor awareness exercise is really key in learning how to push effectively during childbirth. So, in my experience, a lot of women aren't familiar with where their pelvic floor is and how to access it, how to work those muscles effectively. Because when we go to the gym, we work these muscles and work these muscles and we work these muscles, but we don't work the pelvic floor because you can't see it. And what we don't see, we don't know. So, that said, we need to be able to access them. Out in the real world, we tend to spend a lot of time holding everything in, right? We pull the belly button in to fit into those jeans. I'm just as guilty, by the way. Right? We pull everything in, and as you pull everything in, you're lifting the pelvic floor. So here's awareness exercise 1. I want you to pull your belly button in, and I want you to squeeze your glutes. In other words, squeeze your butt together. I want you to pull everything in. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your belly button, pull everything in. Feel how everything tightens up? Good. Now let it go. Feel everything starts to soften. Now let it go again. Let your belly really hang out. You feel the difference in your pelvic floor. Try it one more time. Pull your belly button in, squeeze your bum together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now let it go. And let it go again. That sensation of letting it go, that softening of the pelvic floor, that's what we're looking for. So this is a very, very extreme version. Because I don't want you focusing on the tightening. We spend too much time tightening. We need to spend some time letting the body do what it is naturally intended to do, and to give pregnant moms who are watching that sensation of softening at the pelvic floor, because it's that softening that allows the baby to come out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend some time on our knees. If your knees are not super flexible and you're not comfortable kneeling for any extended period of time, you're going to sit a bit higher up than those who do have better flexibility in their knees or who are more comfortable kneeling. So if you're someone who doesn't have good flexibility, I want you to take a big pillow like a bolster or something similar. We're going to put it on the floor and we're going to kneel over the bolster. My 5-year-old calls this riding the horse. I don't have a better name for it. So what this does is it gives us a little bit of resistance on the pelvic floor, allows us to feel what it is that we're doing. Now, if your knees do have better flexibility, then you can be a little bit lower on the yoga block, which is where I'm going to be today. So I keep my yoga block on the lowest setting, which is a 4-inch size. I'm going to take that here on the mat. I'm going to sit over it and put it underneath my sitting bones. So what that does is it allows me to sit nice and tall. I'm a little bit supported, and it gives my knees a bit of a break because it gives me a little bit of height. So this is a little bit of height. That's a lot of height. If need be, you don't have great knees, you can sit on a chair as long as you're right side up. Good posture rather than sagging down. So I'm going to walk you through the anatomy first before we move into the exercise. What happens with the breath? On your inhale, the ribs expand, the diaphragm drops down, internal organs slide down, including that beautiful baby, and the pelvic floor softens on the inhale. On the exhale, the pelvic floor firms and lifts, internal organs slide up, diaphragm lifts up, ribs move back to center. Our focus, our awareness is on that pelvic floor, on that softening on your inhale and firming on your exhale. So with this activity, I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to do that squeeze, right? That was just our test. We're not going to force anything. I want you to feel rather than to do. So once you're comfortable here, take a look. Make sure that your thigh bones point in a little bit towards center. Make sure that you're sitting tall as if you could balance an imaginary object on your head. While you're watching the video, you can keep your eyes open, but when you're practicing later, I prefer that you do this with the eyes closed so that you can better feel the sensation in your body. So I'm going to walk you through this. There's 3 parts to it. We're going to make it take a little bit longer each time because I want you to get a better awareness at the pelvic floor. Because it's that softening That's softening of the pelvic floor that helps let the baby out during pushing. If our pelvic floor is tight and lifted, ooh, look at my body language. I'm not letting any baby out that way. I need to be soft and to be open. I see it. I've seen it in the birth room. I've seen moms feel that pushing sensation and they want to back up, back up, back up, back up and get away from it. That backing up body language, that tells me, whoa, we are tightening the pelvic floor, pulling back from the baby and resisting the urge to push. When what we need to do is lean into it and soften and open. So I want you to find your seat, whether you're on your bolster, on your block, or on a chair. Find your seat. For the first minute, I want you to just feel. I don't want you to change anything about your breath. Close your eyes if you can. Listen to my voice. I want you to feel your inhale. As the ribs expand on your inhale, the diaphragm drops down. Internal organs slide down. Pelvic floor softens on your inhale. On your exhale, the pelvic floor will lift and firm. Everything slides up, diaphragm slides up. Ribs move back to center. On your inhale, the ribs expand, the diaphragm drops down, everything slides down, the pelvic floor softens. On your exhale, the pelvic floor will firm, everything lifts, the diaphragm lifts, the ribs move back to center. I want you to feel the sensation of the pelvic floor as you breathe easily and steadily. I want you to note if your pelvic floor is able to firm. Is it able to soften? Do you feel anything? Do you feel it on one side but not the other? Do you feel it in the front but not the back? I want you to be aware of the sensation, which is why eyes closed helps. Allow your breath to lengthen. Breathe in for a 6 count and breathe out for a 6 count. All the while feeling the pelvic floor soften on your inhale and firm on your exhale. As you breathe in for 6 and breathe out for 6. Finding that gentle movement at the pelvic floor, that softening on the inhale that allows that space to open, to allow the baby to come out, to allow pushing to be easier. Allow your breath to lengthen to an 8 count. Inhaling for 8 and exhaling for 8, all the while keeping your shoulders soft, the body easy and open. Maintaining your awareness at the pelvic floor, allowing the pelvic floor to soften on your inhale and firm on your exhale. Using your breath and your rhythm. That's like you will use your breath and your rhythm during labor, as your birth is your own. Finding that softening on the inhale and the firming and lifting on the exhale. Taking note of the inhale sensation, that softening sensation. That softening sensation allows the baby to come out. It allows your push to be effective. And it helps birth to be more gentle for both you and baby. Finding that sensation. Allow yourself to take one more breath. And then please open your eyes. So hopefully you felt something. And remember, it's okay if you didn't. If you didn't feel anything, it just means you need to practice. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. If it felt tight on one side and loose on the other, again, it means you need to practice. So I want you to practice, practice, practice. If this is the only physical homework you do, I hope you do more. I hope you come to yoga class. But if this is the only physical homework you do, I want you to practice this. I want you to practice it at least once a day for about 3 minutes. 1 minute without changing anything in your breath, 1 minute at a 6 count, and 1 minute at an 8 count. It'll allow you to get into that sensation, to build that awareness, such that when the time comes and they say, you're 10 centimeters, woohoo! You say, great, don't have the urge to push. By the way, you should wait. If you don't have the urge to push, you shouldn't be pushing yet. A little Lamaze tip on that one. So, once you do have the urge to push, it's that going into sensation. Going into and softening. That softening and opening that you have practiced and practiced and practiced. Now you know what sensation you're looking for. That sensation of softening and opening rather than the sensation of squeezing and backing up. Allow yourself to go into it and you'll push beautifully. I wish you a safe, happy, and healthy birth. Again, my name is Deena Blumenfeld, Shining Light Prenatal Education. The website you'll find down at the bottom here, it's shininglightprenatal.com. If you happen to be in Pittsburgh, I do both group and private classes here at Shining Light. If you're not in Pittsburgh and you're out in internet land, wherever you are, you can find me online. I do work with my clients via Skype and Google Hangout, so I will be happy and honored to work with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to view this video. Namaste.